There is a strength within you that hardens even through decay. It doesn't swell, it doesn't dry out, it doesn't give up. It persists when muscles fail, when eyes close, when your name is forgotten. It marks the end of matter and the beginning of rebirth. This isn't about spiritual theory. This is about a bone hidden at the base of the body. Solid as stone, silent as antiquity. The sacrum, the flesh of the phoenix. The Egyptians connected it to the pillar of Jed, the spine of Osiris, which sustains ascension. In Islam, it is the seed of the Last Judgment. The remaining part is the body, which can be reclaimed. In Kabbalah, it is called light because it never expires. But why is that important? Because everything in your life can fall apart. And if that seed remains, then there's still a plan. There's still a map inside you. Here you'll learn not only how the body supports the soul, but also how it holds the key to its own resurrection. Not every breakdown means the end. Some happen quietly, allowing something deeper to develop. And what arises doesn't come from the mind or the will. It comes from the ground. Within your body is a seed that is unprotected by time or destruction. The sacrum, located at the base of the spine, is more than just a structure. It is a point of permanence, a solid fragment that preserves the right to a new beginning. In Islamic tradition, the body will be reshaped from this seed on the Day of Judgment. In ancient India, this symbolized spiritual support. For Hermetic initiates, it was the path to anchoring the inner heaven. Not because it was mystical, but because it was unbreakable. These traditions didn't create allegories. They created maps of the body, to gain access to what is still alive when everything else seems dead. And at this point, the sacrum reveals its true function only when everything else can no longer hold it back. Here begins the cycle of resurrection. In the germ of an ancient identity, in the strength of a spine that has been created. The promise lies not in the future, it lies in the body, and it is accessible to those who command it to descend, to reach the most intense point of existence, and from there to be reborn with a new structure. They don't have to preserve who they were, but rather honor who they can still be. In mystical traditions that receive little attention in popular thought, there is a belief that the body never completely dies. There is a part that never dies, a fragment that resists the passage of time and endures. Untouched, the original blueprint of existence. In esoteric Kabbalah, this point is called the bread of light, invisible to dissection, impermeable to matter. It is said to be the body from which the body will be recreated at the end of time. But the ancient sages never saw it as an apocalyptic event. For them, the end of time is an inner state, the moment in which everything within disappears, yet a part remains alive. The same principle appears in the Islamic Hadith under a different name, Aqbal Donab, the bread of light, the only body part that, according to tradition, survives all forms of decomposition and contains the primordial substance from which God recreates man. Here the body is not just a temple, it is a living code, a vessel containing codes that do not die with the body. They simply sleep. That's why the ancients spoke of rebirth, not replacement, for what returns is nothing new. It's something ancient, deep, and intact that is brought to the surface with new consciousness. And physical death isn't necessary for this. It's enough to reach the frontier of the old existence. And then, at the point where many believe it's all over, recognizing the silent signal of what is still beating, the call to rebirth of what never died. Science doesn't call this the phoenix penis, but he already recognizes that the densest point of our body has something unique. The sacrum, technically composed of spindle vertebrae, is one of the most well-protected regions of the body. It's also one of the regions most closely connected to the autonomic nervous system, especially the white ones, which control unconscious functions such as survival, defense, serenity, and recovery. Studies in somatic neuroscience have shown that deep traumas are not only stored in the mind, they are recorded in the silent chambers of the body. And one of the areas with the highest density of somatic memory is precisely the sacrum. But that's not all. Research into bioenergy and fascia, the connective tissue that surrounds muscles, nerves, and bones, shows that this region functions as a subtle electromagnetic transmission field. In other words, it not only supports the body, but also interacts with emotional, energetic, and vibrational patterns. The fascia connected to the sacrum acts like a live wire and can store and release information about identity, trauma, and life force. Therapies such as somatic experiencing, developed by Peter Levine, and more recent neurological approaches to emotional healing, demonstrate that the body must be included in the process of psychological reintegration, and that a person's rebirth only occurs when this foundation is released. In this sense, the traditional designation Phoenix Liver, a point that resists death and contains the map of rebirth, is gaining increasing scientific support. Today, sacral stimulation techniques are used to treat treatment-resistant depression, deep dissociative states, and post-traumatic stress disorder. The reason for this is that a kind of memory resides there that does not fade over time. It's just waiting to be awakened by the right impulse. And that impulse can begin. Well, renation doesn't happen intentionally. Renation isn't a mental decision. It's a frequency shift in the core structure of the being. And this frequency only increases when it's released at the base. The process begins below the tongue, below the narrative, below the mind. It starts with the body, more precisely at the point where everything hardens. Step 1. Honor the foundation. Lower yourself to the floor without placing any strain on your spine. Feel your body weight being supported by the earth. Bring your attention to your sacrum, not with effort, but with listening. This is the entrance. Don't rush into anything. Simply recognize this shoulder as the silent guardian of your new beginning. Step 2. Raise your mind to hear the code. The sacrum vibrates at frequencies that a racing brain cannot reach. Close your eyes. Inhale in 4 parts. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Mentally repeat the process throughout the cycle. Nothing needs to be understood. Just remember, this mantra prepares the neuroquantum field for what is to come, a reconfiguration from within. Step 3, find the unforgettable spot. Place your palm at the base of your spine, still above your clothing. Calm yourself there. He breathes with steady hands. Imagine this touch activating an ancient field, as if you were touching the oldest stone in your inner temple. This simple gesture communicates with the body. We are ready to rise again. Step 4. Open the portal of inner reconfiguration with your body lowered and your consciousness activated. Now imagine a point of light in your sacrum. Don't try to control the image. Just let it appear. This light won't go off. It pulsates like an ancient magnet, rediscovering the rhythm of its center. As you breathe, imagine this light slowly expanding, as if awakening from within. This is the moment of profound stillness. Let go of your expectations. You're not creating sensations. You're accessing a frequency that's always been there. Now repeat slowly, almost with a smile, everything I am is here. Everything that remains comes back. This sentence closes the field and gives verbal form to the activated vibrational code. It vibrates not through logic, but through cellular memory. Step 5. Anchor the body in the renewed present, sitting, feet open, hips relaxed, legs stretched. Imagine every part of you rearranged around the phoenix penis, not as a center of support, but as a new axis of identity. You are not simply complete. You are being rewritten. Walk slowly, like someone returning from a sacred place. Don't think, be easy. Resurrection doesn't come like an explosion. It reveals itself as the restoration of a structure. And you have just crossed the threshold of this new body. After the frequency has been touched, something invisible begins to realign. You may not notice it right away, and that's part of the process. The phoenix penis doesn't react to fear. It works silently but with absolute precision. The energy that once slumbered within the penis begins to emerge, not as a fire but as a structure. They don't ignite a call. They rebuild the temple that can accommodate it. And this reconstruction comes at a price. Gifts don't escape the density. They remain in the body. Over the next few days, whenever you feel lost, hidden, or torn, focus your attention on the sacred. Close your eyes for 20 seconds. Feel the ground beneath you. Recognize this point as your center of vibrational stability. This is where your consciousness must rest when everything around you begins to dissolve. This simple gesture creates a target field, like an invisible thread that guides you back to what is eternally within you. You don't always have to remember that, but you do need to know where to return, because sometimes everything seems to be falling apart. But whoever has understood this point, whoever has recognized the thread that never fades, will never lose it again. You will never be the same again, not because anything has changed externally, but because you now know where to start again. Near an old English university, there is a room that isn't marked on any map. The walls are covered with symbols, carved into stone, inscriptions that have never been fully translated. Not even the most advanced linguists, not even the occultists who entered this room. There, Elijah, a researcher of comparative anatomy, discovered a human counterpart with an anomaly. The body had been hidden beneath a sealed foundation for over 1,000 years, yet the sacrum was intact. No hunger, no fracture, no trace of time. It looked as if it had been carved yesterday. At first he laughed. He thought it must have been his friend's mistake. But when he touched the match, his body reacted with a sudden feeling of dizziness, as if a vortex had opened up beneath his feet. For weeks he couldn't sleep, and when he did, he dreamed of things he didn't understand. Circles of fire, birds rising from their own bodies, and a spiral of light emerging from the base of his mirror. Then he gave up his career and disappeared. Months later, he was found near Egypt, living among desert monasteries. A new mirror was tattooed on his neck, symbol upon symbol, vertex upon vertex, all the way down to his sacrum, which he called the Phoenix Phosphorus. He said he had died, but not in his body. He died in his name, in history, in the lines that made him repeat the same patterns over and over again. This connection not only sustained him, but rewrote him. Today, some scientists consider it a collective hallucination. Others say it's become a myth, but no one can explain why this room remains locked to this day, and the meat still lies there. All of this is understandable. Feel how this makes sense. Imagine the entire exercise, the entire concept, the entire recovery step, and yet you can't move, not because of a lack of willpower, but because of an exhaustion that nothing else can heal. A deep weariness, as if something inside you has been hidden for so long. He has become one with the earth. This is the most invisible and disappointing obstacle. Because it doesn't scream, it roars. It tells you that the timing is wrong, that you need to do other things first, that it's not working for you. And you believe it because the voice sounds familiar, as if it were your own, but it isn't. This exhaustion isn't yours. It's inherited. It's the vibrational overload accumulated over generations that is concentrated in the center of the body. It calms down directly in the sacrum, because that's where the code for your reset impulse lies. And therefore, the solution must begin there. Don't try to resolve this burden with your brain. It's already contaminated. Go beneath the body, activate the center, touch the ground with your dirty feet, breathe consciously, and stand as if guarding your own access. Repeat, I am the rebirth point of my lineage. You don't have to understand everything, nor do you have to feel everything. You just have to remember what is already imprinted within you. The phoenix penis doesn't demand belief, but presence. And that you already have. What you have just achieved is not an ancient theory translated into modern language. It is a calling that transcends timelines and touches the deepest part of your present. For the truth is simple, even if no one tries to express it that way. You carry the code of your own resurrection within you, and it is not lost among unsolvable mysteries. It lives at the center of your gravity, in the architecture that the universe has chosen as its pillar. The sacrum, your phoenix penis, is no ordinary anatomical structure. It's a vibrational amphitheater where cycles end, so new ones can begin. You may have experienced decades of complete collapse, the same falls, the same escapes, the same surprises over and over again, but your body refuses to say goodbye. It's not waiting for someone to come and rescue you. It is the map of salvation itself. The pulse you feel when you touch your sacrum in meditation isn't just any energy. It is proof that life has never been interrupted. The pulse remains hidden but intact. And if trauma has distorted your paths, if pain has destroyed your inner structures, if separation has caused you to lose faith, then understand this. It doesn't change the fact that reconstruction is possible, for something there in silence has remained fixed. And what remains fixed in the unseen maintains every possibility of return. Thoth once said that every cycle needs a fixed point to begin anew. The sacrum is that point. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to understand all the secrets. You just need to return to your center and reactivate that which has never stopped pulsing. Recognizing the phoenix penis within you is more than self-knowledge. It is a vibrant act of courage. It's a declaration to the universe that after every fall, you yourself are reborn. Not as before, not smaller, but as a version that remembers, that grows stronger, and no longer has to carry ruins as an identity. As Carl Jung once said, rebirth is the process of becoming whole. So let this wholeness come from within. Let the return come not from outside, but from within. Precisely where everything seemed dead lies the code that was waiting for your yes. You are not broken. You are in the process of resurrection, and the resurrection room is already activated. If this video resonated with you, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. This strengthens the hidden stream of knowledge that we remember together. I invite you to affirm your feelings here in the comments with the phrase, "My Phoenix leg knows the path to my resurrection." This affirmation seals your conscious reemergence into this vibrational space that transcends time. Share this video with someone who wants to remember that they were never lost. They were just asleep. And don't leave yet. Click on the screen and enjoy another transformative video on the channel. Each new level of knowledge illuminates a forgotten part of your heritage. Remember, being reborn doesn't mean starting over. It's about remembering who you never ceased to be.